Hey, what's up? Big CT here. This is a response video to LV54's response to me. LV, you make some very good points. Points that I will probably put in another video because I really want to talk about. Because you know what? I agree that there are fans in YouTube and YouTube community that watch Monday Night Raw, that watch everything else, Monday Night Raw, and some respects TNA. And they watch and they bitch and bitch and they watch. Watch and they bitch and bitch and bitch and watch and everything else. Instead of doing the most sensible thing, if something's not entertaining to you, you change the channel. Very easy to do. And, you know, but the problem is, I think most of it is, they're afraid to actually talk about other things. They feel like if I don't, I think it's a little more desperation. They feel like if I don't watch this show, I'm not going to be able to talk about it. If I don't have any videos to talk about, they feel like they'll run out of, you know, stuff to talk about and everything else. Which is pretty sad and not really inventive. I mean, anyone could just point and say, well, it sucks and give the reasons out. But it just gets to the point of being so formulaic and everything. And that's why I think, well, your channel and other channels like that to talk about other things besides wrestling. It's more. That's why I like to do my YouTube channel. I want to talk other things about pro wrestling, about the aspects of pro wrestling, and other things. Because I feel like if I just talked about what shows are, what pay-per-views and this and that, I think I would run into a wreck. You know, I think that's the problem. Most of the YouTube community, the YouTube wrestling community, are probably in a rut, saying that Raw sucks, Impact sucks, or anything else. And nothing else really changes. I mean, it's been not really much change. And you know, it's pretty sad. And then I think it's a little bit of cowardice as well, saying that they you know, I'm not speaking, I'm just speaking, this is my personal opinion, but I think it's a bit of cowardice to just rant on one thing, one aspect of pro wrestling. You know, saying how the shows suck, without, you know, or not going into other details about it. They don't go into other aspects why they suck. They just say suck just to say they suck. Which is fine, but, you know, but eventually you have to go into detail. Most reasons why they don't really go into detail. They just say they suck because they want to get more views, more ratings, and more subscribers. It's pretty sad. But, anyway. I mean, I think, you know, that's what it is, man. But I think that's not really all the YouTube community. I think it's a lot of other people. I think there's people like yourself who are actually asking interesting questions, and I try to be. And if you want to call me a sports entertainment fan, I actually watch Raw or SmackDown. I watch SmackDown mostly. Raw, I haven't watched Raw in the past 3 weeks. Not because I was busy with school, but I haven't watched a full episode of Raw in a good long while anyway, so I can't physically, it just seems to me it's just the same old crap. And actually just, you know, I just didn't really care. I mean, if they don't want to care, I don't care, so I haven't watched Raw. ECW, I miss that show sometimes. I catch it on Hulu. Sometimes on SmackDown as well, because it's on Friday nights, and, you know, Friday nights, go crazy and go out and club and do whatever what the young folks do. But actually, I just fall asleep completely early, or just forget SmackDown altogether. But I catch it on Hulu.com. I do catch Impact on a regular basis. I didn't watch this week's though, which I heard was last week's though, because I've been actually been a very strong Impact and SmackDown. So I think Impact has really improved since Jeff Jarrett has left. And I'm worried about the quality of it's going to be like that when he returns. But that's another topic for another time. So much time I got. I got 5 minutes left, so I got to make this joint quick. He's saying the wrestling fans are watching WWE. I don't think so. Most of the mainstream fans, or wrestling mainstream fans that were mainstream fans, are now in the UFC. They're in the MMA Boulevard. They're in the UFC. I think that's what it's there. Most of the that's what I personally believe. Most of the UFC, most of the fans, modern wrestling fans, pro wrestling fans, are going to UFC. Some have just become like, I think most are coming to WWE because I think most people are watching SmackDown and Raw for maybe the chance of something to be good, but you know, maybe they actually like it. I have no idea. Maybe that's what's intense. I don't really know. I care. But the WWE is the main source because people watch. I think most of the wrestling fans, the type of pro wrestling fans, are probably watching SmackDown. And watching Raw probably as well because maybe they like it or not. I don't. Who cares? And the leftovers are on TNA, which I think are trying to distinguish themselves and trying to do something interesting and different. I haven't watched Last Impact. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've been enjoying the stuff. So, if you want to call me a sports entertainment fan, then so be it. Then, because I don't want to label myself or anything. If you want to label me as a pro wrestling shooter, what have you, but I would not call myself that. I'm just a person who just has an opinion on a video recorder or anything else. I don't want to, because I don't believe that I'm better than or know more than any of the wrestling bookers or anyone else for that matter. These are my personal opinions. If I'm right on most of them, then fine. These are not my opinions. But because don't confuse them with facts. Because if I do ever come in with facts, I try to check them. And if I'm wrong, like I said, email me, video response me, comment or what have you. Label me as what you want, but it's not what you call me, it's what I answer to. So, wrestling shooter, what have you, I'm just Dixie T. My channel is there for interesting stuff. So, I mostly dabble in pro wrestling, but anyway, let's see. God, I hate this camera. 10-minute time limit. But anyway, I think honestly, LV, pro wrestling fans along abandoned pro wrestling. I think most people are talking UFC. They're talking mostly about honestly MMA, UFC as a whole. They have taken in most of the people. I mean, people haven't really. I mean, honestly, it's only us, just us talking about Raw, just us talking about SmackDown and TNA Impact. I think TNA Impact and TNA is smart enough to actually get an MMA star and do that to cross-brand and things like that. I mean, maybe it can, maybe it can work, maybe it can't work, but you know what? I think that you know what, and unless pro wrestling does some drastic changes, I think in the next couple of years it's going to be just mixed martial arts in this country. And I don't know for abroad, but I think the only pro wrestling you are going to see is probably in Canada, or maybe in pro wrestling in AAA in Mexico or anything else. Because I think UFC and MMA is just making it so difficult, and that's where the most mainstream wrestling fans are. They're just leaving. You might not see LV, but I think most wrestling fans who are not posting on YouTube, not doing the YouTube shooting and everything else, or whatever it was I do or you do, they're legitimately are leaving, and the wrestling bubble is getting smaller and smaller. But that's my personal opinions. 1 minute left. Saving the best for last. Subscribe if you like. Comment. And comment. Video response. Email me. PM me. Comment my page if I'm right or wrong. Dixie T here. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all. That's all I gotta say, man. Peace.